Hello, my friends! Lucky Tremendous here, and welcome back for a new episode of Lucky Talks Television. This time we're doing episode 6 of this show, and you know what that means? Yes, it's time for more of The Walking Dead, my friends. Or better yet, the finale of Season 1. We finally made it! The ending of Season 1 is finally at long last here. And let me tell you, it's one of the weirdest television episodes I've ever seen. But I'll leave that up to you guys to decide for yourselves whether or not you think it's a very bizarre episode, or especially a finale to seemingly one of the greatest zombie apocalypse comic books ever made, an adaptation of it anyway. So, without further ado, my friends, I'll get to talking about episode 6 of season 1 of The Walking Dead, TS-19. The episode opens with a flashback where Shane assures that the still conscious Rick is secured within the hospital during the very beginning of the apocalypse. We see that Shane actually did check on Rick the day everything fell apart, trying to secure him safe passage out of the hospital. However, he eventually sees the military executing the hospital patients as walkers start to overrun the facility. Shane wanting to get Rick out of there as fast as possible, but he's unable to take the life support equipment, so he needed Rick to wake up right before the building loses power, and weirdly enough, Rick flatlines, even though, as we all know, he's still alive and well. Shane rushes out of the building thinking his best friend is dead, fearing for his life as the main theme starts to play. When the main theme is over, back in the present, Rick's group enters the CDC building with help from its sole remaining scientist, Dr. Edwin Jenner, portrayed by Noah Emmerich. You guys might know him from Steven Spielberg's film Super 8. That's really the only thing that comes to mind when we talk about this guy. He's the show's newest minor character. Jenner makes them undertake a blood test to prove that they are not infected, so that they may enter the building. He seals the building topside and allows them to go underneath. Something that I should mention from this episode is Carol mentions that she's claustrophobic. I mean, it's something very small, but it's something fans can just never let go. Why is she claustrophobic? Is she still claustrophobic even in the later episodes? I would definitely like to think so, otherwise why else would they say it? I guess it's just not my business to question it. They all take the blood test, and after Jenner finds out the group hasn't eaten in days, the group enjoys the luxuries of the facility, which has self-empowered still running water, food, alcohol, and other amenities. It's actually quite awesome because they eat dinner and get the first hot shower they've had in over 6 months. It's actually quite a touching scene. Showers are really something that we take for granted nowadays. Every single running house has one, but imagine not going out one with 6 months in the Atlanta heat. Whew, oh boy. It's actually quite funny is during the dinner scene, it's actually quite funny. We get a mixture of both somber and humorous as the group allows young 12-year-old Carl to drink wine, of which he comically yells, "Ew!" Chandler Riggs barely had any lines this season, but man, did he get Carl absolutely right. But of course, in the middle of all the partying, Shane forces Jenner to ask him what he's still doing here and what happened to all the doctors. After he reveals that he's the only one left, Jenner admits that he's the only one that stayed behind because many of the others left for their families or committed suicide in the hallways, effectively killing everybody's good time. Later in one of the rec rooms, where we see Carol being once again awesome with all the other people, including Carl and Sophia, Lori's reading in the corner, and a drunk Shane barges in on her and begs him to forgive him for lying to her. He approaches her about her callous behavior towards him with Rick's return and begs her to forgive him, saying that he put his head on his heart to listen to a heartbeat and he did not hear one, begging and pleading that he honestly thought he was dead. There was no way Rick could have survived that, but he did. It was amazing. It was a 1 in a millionth chance, but it actually brought him back to life. It's actually quite amazing, and in his drunken stew, Shane actually attempts to rape her. I'm not going to lie, that actually happens. We get an attempted rape scene in this show, and it's actually just as unsettling as it does sound. He does eventually back off when Lori digs her nails into his neck, ripping out some flesh as he punches the wall, leaving. She starts to break down and crying. Even as Rick goes to talk to Jenner and he's drunk off his ass as well, he yells in Jenner's face saying, "You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like out there. You may think you do, but you don't. We, we were all going to die sooner or later." It's actually kind of weird to think that Rick, who's been so level-headed and trying to keep everybody together, honestly did think for this entire season that they were all going to die at any given moment. It's, it kind of sucks, but it's actually kind of true. Not gonna lie. It's definitely one of the things that the show does very well. That it brings the worst out in us and also the best. Not going to lie as well. Dale finds Andrea throwing up her delicious food, and then she later exposits to him that she saw the real look on Dr. Jenner's face, declaring that there truly is nothing left of human civilization, that the walkers wiped out everything. After a awesome night of sleeping and a comically scene showing that Glenn is hungover from drinking too much wine, they eventually ask Jenner to show them about why people turn and what caused the zombie apocalypse. He shows Rick's group what he learned from test subject 19, who we later reveal was his late wife, who volunteered to be recorded after she was bitten in hopes of discovering a cure. The infection kills the character like meningitis. It invades the brain like it, and then it shuts down all the major organs, then kills them. But then it causes the brain to reactivate and reanimate the body shortly thereafter, eliminating any conscious human traits, just a walking, stumbling shell driven by hunger and nothing else. This actually got a lot of weird contrasting criticisms from the audience, because knowing what happens when someone turns into a walker is great, but it's not what this show is about. This isn't a sci-fi show. It's a post-apocalyptic story. I mean, yeah, it's great we have it, but did we really need it? Honestly? Anyway, Jenner had been in communications with other facilities worldwide before they went silent, knowing that the French were the closest to finding a cure, but he affirms a very strong and very dire belief that human civilization is ceasing to exist, and that the Walker Plague is their extinction event, basically killing any hope the survivors had, basically draining all hope that the world will ever be back to normal once more. The group discovers that there's a clock that the generators are going to run out of power, and then basic building-wide decontamination will occur. The group discovers that the generator's fuel reserves are completely out. When empty, the facility will enter a self-destruct mode by design to eradicate all the infectious diseases stored inside. Jenner conscientiously seals the building, refusing to allow Rick's group to leave, but promises that the thermonuclear blast designed to destroy the building will mean their deaths will be almost instantaneous, yelling at them that this is the only way that they can survive, that there's no hope, there never was, the world is going to end and we should just let it happen. I mean, honestly, the only one who agrees with this is Andrea, who after Amy died is completely shut down, giving up on life as well, but everyone yells at him to open the door. Everyone throws it in his face that they want to get out. They try in vain to have Jenner open the doors. Daryl and Shane threatening him with axes and shotguns. Shane even aiming the shotgun in his frickin' face, threatening to blow his head off if they don't get out. Rick and Shane fight over the control of the situation, but then Rick miraculously finally convinces him to allow them to at least try to overcome the tragedy rather than be forced to die. Jenner shoots back with what Rick told him last night, how it was only a matter of time before everyone he loved was dead. They're all rightly pissed, but they want to live even more. Eventually Jenner gives up, wanting to give them the chance, and decides to open the door. Everyone rushes for the open door, hoping to make it out of the building alive. Rick says he's grateful for the chance that Jenner is giving them, but he somberly tells them, "The day will come when you won't be." Remember that line, folks. If you're sticking with me through all these weeks, remember that one line. He whispers something in Rick's ear as everyone yells to try and get out. Jackie and Andrea volunteer to stay behind as they don't want to see the outside world and would rather just be eradicated, saying that they don't want to end up like Jim or Amy, that they just want to die peacefully. But Dale, refusing to leave without Andrea, decides to stay as well until she offers to stay, or I mean go, with him. It's actually quite savage. He's going to die unless she follows him out the door. As Rick departs, Jenner whispers something to the group and Jackie, hoping that they make it. After trying almost in vain to get out of the building, looking like they might as well die even with their awesome speeches and everything, Carol takes out the grenade that Rick found in episode 2 when he exited the tank in Atlanta. Amazingly enough, it was Carol that saved all their lives. Rick puts the grenade up to the window and runs away as it blasts away the glass as everyone rushes out to the cars. Shortly after everyone packs back into the RVs and the trucks, Andrea has a change of heart, not wanting to see Dale die, and the two escape the building moments before its destruction as Dr. Jenner and Jackie are consumed in the fire. So yeah, technically, Dr. Jenner becomes the third minor character to die. After the building completely explodes into nothing but ash and a big roaring explosion that's, all fake, because it's all CGI, the surviving members return to their vehicles and set off away from the smoking husk, ready to end this story, but begin the next one anew. TS-19 is a really good episode. It's got everything: action, suspense, mind-boggling questions, and the desire to see more in the next coming season. But it's not without its problems that keep it from being a great episode. The creator, Robert Kirkman, who did have some influence on the show still in its first phase of its first few years, he even wrote episode 4, Vatos, which would explain why it's such a great episode. But he did voice his criticisms with TS-19 many years later. He says that if he had done it better, or if he had gotten a second chance to do the show, that he would not have done the CDC plotline at all and would have just kept them going on a more comic accurate path. Well, that's all well and good, but I thought it was an okay decision. I mean, yes, the show isn't going to be at all like the comic. It will be at times, but it's going to be nothing exactly. So changes need to happen regardless. So yes, Robert Kirkman, I agree that things needed to change, but I do agree that things happened the way they were supposed to, the way they were always going to. I definitely have a lot of good things about it. Dr. Jenner, as a very minor character, was really good. I did like his character, even though he didn't offer much. He offered more than many people thought he would. The episode definitely feels out of place with the rest of the season, with its very high-tech setting instead of the apocalyptic wasteland. But it's technically sci-fi apocalypse. We can let it slide because it's literally the only episode where it ever goes that far away from what the books were doing, because I'll just tell you right now, in the comics, the CDC does not exist at all. I honestly think that was good for the books, but the CDC was good for the show. Not going to lie. To conclude, my friends, TS-19 was a really good finale to the series, to the season, I mean, and I'm very excited to get to talking about season 2 with you guys on further episodes of Lucky Talks. I want to thank all my subscribers and all my viewers and all those guys that left a thumbs up for watching this video. That you guys keep me going, and I really am looking forward to talking about more episodes of this show with you guys for your awesome convenience. As always, my friends, I'm Lucky Tremendous. I've just gone inside the dead with you guys, and I will see you guys next time for the start of Season 2 of The Walking Dead. Suppose this is the time when I say goodbye. It is. I just wanted to play the music. Bye-bye, guys. I'll see you guys next time.